Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round number 3 of the ISR AIC Championship here at the Shanghai International Circuit in China. We have got a spectacular race for you today, folks, here. And let me tell you this here, the tire wear is going to be something here, but it is going to be something. DRS here on, this is a real-life track here that we are racing here in Automobilista. And joining me today is, of course, if you don't hear Toby, that's fine. He is still here in the production offices. But joining me today is our Season 2 champion, Josh Martin. And Josh, we were talking in pre-race here. The tire wear, like we said, is going to be a very fun factor to watch here. What's going to be your thoughts here on today's race?
Yes, hello Zach. It's going to be one hell of a race here at Shanghai. A very good circuit, 3 sectors, and a straight that is 11 football pitches long end to end. One-stop strategy predicted, but that might well change depending on how the tires react. And Zach, a lot of things going to be happening here. How do you think the teams can prepare for a circuit like this?
Well, as tight and twisty as this track is here, it's going to be very interesting to see, especially for the turn 1, the snail section here, as we take a look at our qualifying results. Our championship leader right now, Kevin Jacobs, gets his second pole of the season here, but he's got some heavy competition here as Callum Spencer finally looking to grasp, all the struggles that he had for the opening first couple of races here, is starting second behind him with Christoffer, Pettersson, your top 3 here, with Callum McAllister and Zack Swader falling in the top 5 here. But just going into this track, it's very twisty, very technical. Like you said, the track, the long straightaway is 11 football pitches long. It's one of the longest straights in Formula 1. And so with the DRS and the slipstream here, Josh, it's going to be very interesting to see what they can do, and especially that last corner here.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of the teams going different strategies on their car setup, and it's going to play into your hands whether you go for the tight, twisty Sector 1 or the very fast Sector 3. You can see here a lot of drivers out of position compared to their normal positionings, but that could just mean that the race is going to be full of a lot more action there. You can see Jonathan Carrera's running out in P20, and Callum Spencer has been having a lot of pressure in this title fight with Kevin Jacobs. And who do you think is going to come out on top this time around?
It's very interesting because Callum Spencer's really good on the starts here, so he might be able to get the jump on Kevin Jacobs going into turn 1. But the way, like we said, the first couple corners are with the snail section is laid out, it could be going either way. But we are set here on the grid, Josh, as we take a look at the beautiful field of colors of the cars here. Kevin Jacobs gets the pole, Callum Spencer in second, with Christoffer Pettersson in third. The lights, 5 red lights here. And we are away here in Shanghai, ladies and gentlemen, as going into the straightaway down into the end here, the first section. And it's ridiculous. Now, Callum Spencer's on the inside, and he's actually going to take it. But no, Kevin Jacobs is going to fight back on the outside here, and is actually gaining a little bit of a gap right there. So everybody falling back into place for the top 3. But going through the field right now, a whole bunch of breaths of cars in the back here, Josh, as we're coming in through the end of the snail section here. And it looks like Kevin Jacobs is going to build that lead on Callum Spencer here. So far, everybody going up is particularly looking at Craig McLeod Evans here. Lost his front wing here, Josh. I wonder if he's come into contact with somebody, as we see his teammate and everyone else. He's holding up about, big more contact here as Craig McLeod Evans has started. What's happened here? We got Damian Haskins, Josh Martin, and it looks like Jonathan Carrera has a whole bunch of, yep, that is obviously, I wonder if, there he goes here, so no DNF for Jonathan Carrera. So what a crazy start to this, Josh. I wonder what happened there.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane. It looked like the Northern Lights racing drivers of James Underhill and Craig Evans actually came together there. But all the action kicking off in that snail section, you saw there the contact there with Josh Martin and a couple other guys at the back. And I think everyone's trying to get around this Northern Lights car who's just not moving. And Zach, we said that there was going to be a lot of difference in strategies just from the basis of the track, and I think that's going to get even more drastic now. Drivers are trying to repair their cars. Callum Spencer up into P2 now as we come down that first straight. Colin McAllister making a move up the inside. Can he make it stick? He can indeed. That Iron Brew car getting through nicely, and James Underhill's having a look now as he come up to the final corner. He's right on the back. He's going to dive up to the inside as well. Can he make the move stick? A little bit of contact as they come down onto the straight, and Zach, their guys aren't easing up, and we're only on lap 1.
Yeah, that was something as Charles McBee right there. As James Underhill looks on the inside and McBee going into the snail section, and they're still side by side here. But I think Underhill might get the run. But here comes Ross McFarlane out of nowhere, and he point here. Charles McBee coming under a lot of pressure from these guys as he is looking here as we see Toby Byrne looking to try to regain his title chances here. He's had a bit of a, reigning champion here, Josh, and he's had a bit of a struggle this season here, but he's in ninth position so far. So looking to get some points out of this one as he is side by side here with, I believe that's one of the AOR cars. Looking into this here, we saw the contact here. Like you said, the strategies that these guys are having here. It's just, you want more downforce for the turns, but you also, as we go on board with Zack Swader, the WSR Sim Racing car here, as he is behind Callum Spencer. You also want to run a little less downforce, especially for that the long straightaway here, Josh. And so it is coming to play the different strategies here, as the DRS as well will help you with this one. Won't have another DRS until the lap 3 here. But the slipstream as well, it's going to be very crazy. And especially with this corner that we're coming up with Zack Swader right now, this corner coming under braking, it's easy to step out and just miss your braking point here, Josh, especially on this end of the straight.
Yeah, definitely. So you have a look now. Gareth Lennon is having a look up to the inside. So is Toby Byrne. Everybody's trying to make a move into this hairpin, and Toby makes the move stick. We said he was trying to regain those championship fights, and he's certainly making a look for it. Valerio Campagnari now going up the inside, and Gareth Lennon side by side once more. And yeah, Zach, just come back to what you're saying. That big straight does really open up a lot of opportunities. The closing speed you can see, as we see Ivan Imre is actually going up for the inside of Byrne. Side by side into turn 1. Toby's going to hold it around the outside. Can he make the move stick? They're so close here. It's unbelievable scenes to see. And now the Iron Brew Racing car's getting stuck in the background. And Zach, something that I've noticed already is if you're going side by side into this first turn, then you put yourself at huge risk of dropping not only 1, but potentially 2 or 3 positions.
Yeah, because the way that the first corners are, it's easy to get someone on the inside here, but as soon as you hit that left, you're on the outside, and so it's easy for someone to get the switch back on you. So we're taking a look now at Douglas Anderson is coming side by side with one of the EQU. That's Juan Navarro in the EQU car. It's easy to get the switch back on someone, so if you lose whatever advantages you have, like going into the corner, you can gain it coming out of the corners. We're taking a look back at Callum Spencer, and he is right behind Christoffer Pettersson in the other TBD car. We were watching Toby Byrne earlier, but he's going to have the DRS here as we take a look at the slipstream. As we talked about, it's going to get him right here. Christoffer Pettersson, he's going to hopefully stick it and cuts back right there. So Christoffer Pettersson will have to concede that position. So very good move from the veteran Callum Spencer, but he is 2.5 seconds behind Kevin Jacobs here, Josh. So I'm wondering, though, if Kevin Jacobs is going to have a pretty good setup right here. So take a look now. Valerio Campagnari is going to make the move right there, as I believe that is, yep, that's Joshua Wood going absolutely wide here. I think he got scared by the forceful Italian coming in here. And he's like, no, mate, I'm taking that position here. But he's going to have DRS to try to gain back those positions here. But he does have a car in front of him, as Toby Byrne is going to take a look right there at Evan Imre. And Joshua Wood is going to come under pressure. So a lot of action going on right here as Danny Diaz is going up against his former team. That is Juan Navarro. He's going to cut back on the inside. Can Juan Navarro stick it? He's going to make the switchback work. I don't believe so. The camera cut back through here. But talking about it right here as we take a look back at the top 2-3 here, as Zack Swader is going to try to gain some ground right there on Christoffer Pettersson now. And Christoffer Pettersson, Josh, it seems like has lost a lot of ground to Callum Spencer.
Yeah, definitely. And the issue that you're going to find here is as soon as you break out of that 1 second DRS barrier, you're not going to gain that time back at all. You can see Zack Swader is pushing so hard to keep behind Pettersson. See the car squirreling every time he goes on the power. As we come onto the straight once more, we're really going to see the effect of that closing speed and DRS. And hopefully the camera will let us ride on board for what is going to be quite a spectacular overtake. We've seen a lot of moves into this bottom hairpin. A very favourable spot for the drivers. And of course it can go wrong, but we see now as Zach closes up. Look, Amarty's closing. He's going to go side by side, 150 meters to the corner, up the inside, on the brakes as late as you like. And yeah, there's nothing Pettersson could do there. He goes wide actually, struggling a wee bit there to keep the car on the track. Just having a look around the field though, obviously Craig McLeod-Evans currently sitting in P7 of the championship. And yeah, that incident at the start of the race that we saw, down in P19 at the moment. Josh Martin also had an incident down in P17, and I'm just having a look through the field. Quite a lot of movers going on around, and Ross McFarlane notably up into P8. So a lot of opportunities coming here for some of the lesser scoring drivers here, Zach.
Yeah, and especially that because we talked about as we take a look. Speaking of Josh Martin here, who got involved in that first corner incident, and as I believe he's going to make the move right there on Juan Navarro. But Juan Navarro is going to get shot out like a cannon to come back, and hopefully he stays on the outside. He's got an opportunity for the switchback here. He's going to have the inside line, wheels on the curve, but job done. Gets Josh Martin and is going to just square away. And here comes Jonathan Carrero now, looking to go up against him now. So this is an opportunity here, but he's going to cut back and just kind of watch as this, chaos unfolds. So here we go, Josh, and take a look and just Craig McLeod Evans just came in like a dive bomb out of nowhere on everyone. Does manage to hold it on, and I believe that's how he lost his front wing. As we take a look on board with Jonathan Carrero now, that's one of the Super Riguri cars, one of the ART cars coming through here. So look at that, too wide up here with the two ART cars. And let's see what happens where he's going to cut to the inside. And I believe this is where everyone was getting held up by Craig Evans here, as he's going to come through and just nowhere to go. And ow, Everett comes up right here. One of the ARR cars comes in. He's getting pushed by, I believe that was Damian Haskins. So now we're on board with Josh Martin, see his point of view of everything. And just everyone trying to get by the damaged car of Craig Evans, and carbon fiber coming off everywhere. That's Damian Haskins, our last time out winner and second in points. Is that's really going to help hurt him here. And speaking of, see what his point of view is. And just right there, Iron Brew car, there we go. And ow, coming out of nowhere, everybody, as he was the one that's getting stuck on Jonathan Carrero, who got stalled out, probably stalled on him and had to get a re-going up. And so just chaos right here, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely mental now as we ride on board with Christoffer Pettersson, and you can see he's having a look up the inside, and I believe that'd be Callum Spencer at the time. And yeah, easy as you like, up the inside, and it's so easy once these cars get stuck to stall them. So yeah, unfortunately not a lot of people could do there. And look at that move right around the outside, closes the door, absolutely incredible. As we come on to lap 5 of the race here, Gareth Lennon in P11 currently with the Iron Brew racing car. He is currently in the chase of, I believe that would be Byrne. And yeah, at the moment it seems to have settled down a wee bit. We're obviously still seeing a few overtakes here and there, but the drivers were getting to much more of a rhythm now. And you see Kevin Jacobs is pulling out a huge gap, as we've seen earlier times this season. And Zach, I really want to touch on him because he has truly just got the knack down of kind of pulling away from the rest of the field.
Well, Kevin Jacobs is well known from the Nemesis Racing League for his open wheel. As we take a look at Toby Byrne, as Ross McFarlane is going to dive into the pits and almost collected Toby Byrne right there. So Toby Byrne is not going to be happy with him, almost chopping off his front wing. But Kevin Jacobs, as we don't have time to talk, because Gareth Lennon gets shot out of a cannon also. So really a whole lot of action we can't discuss all of the action going on with the points. As we take a look at how more people, Christoffer Pettersson is going to concede one of the podium positions, as well as James Underhill coming in for his stop. And like we said in the broadcast and also off camera, these tires are going through a lot because it's a clockwise track, and all of the tight bits, especially for the snail section, the tires are screaming. But yeah, Kevin Jacobs is well known for his open wheel experience from the Nemesis Racing League. He struggled, in the GT cars. He struggled through those, but I think he's finally found a fitting discipline here to represent the Nemesis Online Racing League here. And it's showing because he's leading the championship right now, and he's also leading this race here, and he's looking for his 2 wins. And so this will be a very good boost here, Josh, if he can be able to hold on to this and play out the strategy and hopefully just stay out of trouble.
Yeah, exactly, and your confidence always rises after that first couple of wins, and he knows now he's got the abilities, he's got the car underneath him to support him. And yeah, it's very much obviously just a case of trying to get to the flag as quick as you can. Callum Spencer, we know, is a very talented driver, and have the opportunity, Callum will try and take it. But yeah, Kevin's doing everything right at the moment. It's really hard to critique him. As Gareth Lennon has a look, and Valerio Capagnari is going up the outside of Byrne. There's so much happening here. There's a little bit of a slide on the exit, and Byrne's gone wide as well. So I think the AI may be struggling a wee bit with the pathing down there, but it does lead for some inciting action as we see Josh Martin going up the inside there. And we might see a repeat, one of the cars running wide. But all these pit stops going on, it's a circuit that really values a driver who can look after their tyres. But even still, Zach, only 7 laps out these tyres at max. It's a lot shorter than what I was expecting. So could we potentially see a second stop?
Possibly, and especially, I'm not just sure if tire compounds are a thing with this game. But even still, if we don't get that much long, stint running here, it could play very out to be a 2-stop race. So we've still got, say, 6 laps. So we're at 7 out of 15 here. And so 7 laps for it. If they can't go, they will have to pit stop again. If the 2-stop is a thing, we're looking at close to maybe 2 laps to go here. So if a 2-stop is a thing, it could be very chaotic, and we could see somebody who might try to 1-stop here come out with a very surprising win, as Kevin Jacobs now 9 seconds ahead of Zack Swader now, because Callum Spencer did pit. He was in second, so that'll shuffle the field here, but I think Kevin Jacobs could be coming in for his first stop here, and if he does, that will be on lap 7. So most of these guys will start toward the end of lap 6 going into lap 7. Kevin Jacobs here will be on lap 7 to lap 8, and here we go. He's going to dive into the pits now, and Zack Swader should follow suit behind him, being 9 seconds back. So playing it out, some of these guys have worse tire wear, but don't forget, Josh, that is all, of course, as we take a look at the WSR of Zack Swader coming into the pits as well. A lot of the battles as well doesn't help the tire life as well. When you're battling somebody, you tend to forget about, what's underneath you, and you're focusing on trying to get ahead of the car ahead of you.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And as many years of experience as these guys have, it is so easy, like you say, to forget. The noise on the tires, though, as Zack Swader and Kevin Jacobs were coming in there, you could hear the tires squealing. They were absolutely ruined. Oh, Kevin Jacobs very nearly has contact there coming outside of the pits. And wow, that was millimeters away. I'm not quite sure who that was with there.
I believe that's Danny Diaz.
Danny Diaz, indeed. So he is not going to be happy with that. And I hope we get a replay of that, because that was absolutely insane. And he's going to hopefully try and make the move now. He's not going to mess about yet. Throws it up the inside, makes his mark. And it just goes to show it's quite a high-speed turn 1. And obviously coming out the pit lane, you do have to build that speed up again. So there's even the potential for some contact coming out the pit lane. And that could really throw something in the mix. Yeah, Zach, it's been a great race so far, but I don't think it's all over.
It's far from over, as Valerian Campagnari is coming in with a shocker, as well as Danny Diaz. But here comes one of our first earlier stops. The top 3 has yet to pit here, Josh, and Callum Spencer was the first one to pit here. So if, these guys, if we do cycle around here, Callum Spencer could be able to take the win, because I wonder, though, if Christoffer Pettersson had a very slow stop, and that almost incident with Danny Diaz could slow him up very much. Here, so taking our top 3, Valeria Campagnari, Kevin Jacobs, actually. Okay, so he manages to stay in second. I thought Callum Spencer was behind them, so my apologies for that. But Danny Diaz in third with Callum Spencer, and then Colin McAllister in 5th. Just to touch up right there, the Iron Brew boys have had a massive season so far, as Valerian Campagnari comes in for his first pit stop of the day on lap 8 going into lap 9. But the Iron Brew boys have came out of nowhere. They've struggled the first couple of seasons as an organization. Gareth Lennon, of course, after season 1 came into the Iron Brew organization. They're finally getting their fitting right now as we take a look at the man, Colin McAllister, coming a bit under pressure from the DRS Open on the WSR of Zack Swader. But so far, they are, if I'm not mistaken, they are leading the team championship here, Josh, and this could be for something else if one of those two can get a win here this season.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm sure if you recall back a couple of seasons to the Scirocco, the Iron Brew guys were really struggling, and Colin's done a great job of sticking with the team, kind of helping them grow. Kind of similar to how we've seen the likes of Alonso or Hulkenberg grow with a team, and as that team benefits from the driver's knowledge, then they do get the results. Zack Swader is closing him down, though, and I'm sure this is a battle you're going to be very eager to watch. But it's very good to see these Iron Brew guys are trying to make their impact on the championship, and it just shows that it's anybody's fight. Obviously, we're seeing Kevin Jacobs pulling out far, but there's so much to play for, and look how fast Zack is going. He is clipping those curbs, not messing about, and I think in the next couple of laps we could see him attempt to move. Obviously the risk you play here is if you get it wrong with it being such a high-speed circuit, then you are going to fall quite far back. But Toby Byrne in P11 at the moment, like we said, trying to come back in that championship fight, and if you're in his position right now, Zack, how would you be feeling?
I would basically just trying to make damage limitation. I'm pretty sure Shanghai is not one of Toby Byrne's strongest, tracks in all of F1 and probably on this as well. So it's basically a damage limitation. Hopefully gain some ground on tracks that you are very good at, as we see everybody coming into the hairpin here after the long straight. Valerian Campagnari gaining some ground on the car ahead here. As running on board on Danny Diaz, this could be a move. I believe this is going to be Jonathan Carrero. He's going to be on the inside here. As taking a look, job done. He's going to hopefully stick in and listen to the tires squealing, Josh. The amount of steering input that these guys are having to make, that's very close to overshooting, just like Craig McLeod Evans did right there here. It's just the tire squeal on that, just all the import, just trying to get that thing to move, because these things, Josh, don't turn. They're easy to turn under high speed because the downforce, but as soon as you slow up, these things turn into a boat, basically, because these things do not want to turn in slow corners here. As we're taking a look at Charles V and James Underhill doing battle right here. So let's talk about one of the biggest losers real quickly here, Josh. We talked about Damian Haskins winning out last time out at Malaysia, got involved in that first incident, and that's going to be a real, he's going to struggle, basically in the mind, basically, as far as trying to regain all that ground the next couple races. When you have a very solid, when you get your win, Josh, here, the one thing you always have to do is stay focused. You can't let a race like this here. How do you bounce back from that?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, he has literally gone from hero to zero in a matter of corners, so not going to be an easy race for him. I can see they've got the car running. He is, trailing around at the back, but for him, it's a good chance to capture some data, kind of learn a bit more about how the car reacts in certain scenarios. And yeah, he's got quite a battle ahead of him, especially when he's going to see so much action unfolding up ahead. I'm sure he'd be more than eager to get involved. And you can just see from this 5-car train here just how close everybody is in this midfield. So yeah, I'm sure he won't be happy, but it's one of these things, isn't it, Zach? We've seen it. It happens to anybody. You can win a race, you can crash out. You just got to come back nice and strong. And coming back strong, looking at Ross McFarlane right now, he is just on the back of one of the Northern Lights racing guys. And then we've got, I believe, Gareth Lennon just behind him. So if any of these guys make a mistake, they're going to lose a couple of positions out. And I have no idea who's going to come out on top here, but it is anybody's race at the moment.
Yeah, certainly, as we're taking a look at Gareth Lennon trying to bounce back from that, as we were just talking about Iron Bruce. He's actually going to bounce into the right there on the inside right there. A bit of contact right there, but Gareth Lennon is an aggressive driver. He's dive bombs right here, and he just caught Ross McFarlane out, but I'm pretty sure Ross McFarlane wasn't expecting a very aggressive sort of British touring car style dive bomb from the Northern Irishman. As we're looking at Evan Imre here, talk about a team that's had its ups and downs as well. Evan Imre and Forrest Vizzy guys with, of course, Vizzy as well with them of Nut Martinson here. They've kind of had a bit of a weird season. They came back, basically being season 1 champions here, but ever since we went out of the slower fields, and you would think being AOR being the open wheel league organization they are, you would think they'd be up in the top, but they have kind of struggled this season. So hopefully they can be able to get something going. We're just in the 3rd race here, and I believe Evan Imre is going to make a statement right now, as he's going to try to go on the inside, but I believe, Ross McFarlane is going to cop out way wide. And, almost a bit of a contact right there with Valerian Campagnari, as we're talking about how all the cars are just understeering coming out of that corner. As you said, probably the AI just don't know how to take that corner with somebody beside them, as Gareth Lennon is going to make a move on James Underhill for 7th place right here. But James Underhill is going to make an acceleration move. He's going to have the outside, and if he can keep right there, he's going to have the advantage on the inside unless Gareth Lennon can block it right there. But no, he's going to actually hold back a little bit, as he was afraid to kind of challenge Gareth right there, as Valerian Campagnari is going to come under pressure right now. He's going to lose the position out right there. So, yeah, a lot of positions being changed right here. Like you said, it's very unpredictable to see who's going to come out where with all of these position changes here.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. I mean, we just saw from Ross, for example, up in P8 and now down to P11 at risk of losing P12. Toby Byrne has actually been able to capitalise in this whole field, and yeah, it's amazing to see the quality of driving that we're actually getting here. It's such an exciting circuit, full of so much drama, but providing such a good result. Evan Imre, yeah, been pretty quiet for the start of the season, I'd say, compared to his usual self. However, it's good to see that he's getting involved. And his teammate, way down in 21st, so not the result he'll be after, but got to bounce back and come forward to the next round. Just having a look through the fields here, like we were saying, apart from this midfield pack, everything is starting to quieten down, as Toby Byrne's going to come under a bit of pressure now from Evan Imre, and they go side by side. He should get the move done quickly, but Byrne is going to defend. He's also going to make a move. Could they be free wide? No, they're not, but Byrne is going to go up the inside. He makes the move stick. Unbelievable. Evan Imre's through, and James Underhill's lost out. Ross McFarlane's lost out to Campagnari, and Douglas Anderson is now going to be having a look at the back of Campagnari there. And, a lot going on. It keeps coming in bursts, and this outside line at turn 1, Zach, it seems to be actually favouring the drivers here. They seem to be getting a bit of extra grip, perhaps.
Yeah, it is something, because as we're looking right now, just watch how James Underhill is. But as you can tell right there, Evan Imre, who's going to come up into 9th right there, he had the outside line, and like I said, it seems like if you have the outside line, obviously you can be able to have back going into the inside here, but you are correct. I believe the outside of that might have a bit more grip. But just going back on that Toby Byrne pass, he shows how multitasking is a perfect thing, because he turns into an attacking move and also turns it into a defensive move and makes it work. So very good driving from our champion, going in to try to make this 2 championships in a row with Toby Byrne here. But Now we're coming up into the final few laps as Garrett Lennon kind of loses just a little bit. He is trying to drive the wheels off of that car, trying to catch up to the car ahead. And it seems like everyone just keeps getting, a bit loose coming out of right there. So coming into that, caught the curbing just a little bit, but fantastic catch from the Northern Irishman as we're going into the long right-hander here. Almost a little bit of a banking corner, just slightly, but not enough to affect the tires as we're coming into the long straight. We're going to watch this unfold as he is going to come and try to get the position on Charles McBee, get the job done here, get in front of Charles McBee. Very well done pass right there, and that's how you make it work right there, kids. For all you guys that are going into racing, that's what you want to do. So very good passing from everyone out here today here. But as we're taking a look, everyone's kind of calming down here as Charles McBee is going to try to get the position back with a DRS open here. And let's see what he can do here. He's going to stay behind and get the slipstream here, but I think Garrett Lennon is just a bit too far out and a bit too quickly here for the VRC machine of Charles McBee. So now we're going into the last couple laps here. I don't know if Callum Spencer has anything for Kevin Jacobs, as Kevin Jacobs has had a demanding lead. This has been his race. He's only had one minor incident, which, to be fair, would have been none of his own with the contact with Danny Diaz, but he is showing the first early signs of being a fierce contender for this championship, Josh. And let me tell you one thing, he struggled, of course, through the early opening career, but I believe he could be one to watch for the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely. You'll need to check me on this, but I believe if Kevin Jacobs was to win this championship, then we wouldn't have a repeat championship winner yet, would we? It'd be completely unique.
I believe not, because Nut Martinson won Season 1, you yourself won 2, and Toby Byrne won Season 3. So we will not have a repeat champion if he does do this. So this is turning up to be almost like a kind of reverse 2012 F1 season with different winners. So this will be very, very cool to watch to see if Kevin Jacobs can keep all the stuff going, because we have yet to have a repeat winner. So very fun fact for all you guys out there, for all you stat nerds. As we're taking a look right now, Douglas Anderson is actually going to take James Underhill going in right there. So very good move right there, as the AI logic seems to be a bit off right there, as we've been talking about here. But now Ross McFall is going to take a look at James Underhill. So James Underhill has kind of been struggling he's in 12th. He was up there almost in the points, but just everyone just having all the better cars. I just wonder though if James Underhill just doesn't have that good of a setup, as we talked about through the early portions of the race here, as well as the pre-race here, as Valerio Campagnari is going to do right on the gearbox of Evan Imre, as the couple cars right there, both being racing organizations, the Nemesis Online Racing League, and of course the AOR Racing League here. So a lot of good talent for these two guys as we've taken a look through the field once again at the man himself, as well as the top 5. Christoffer Pettersson in 5th place, so a good outing for him today, as well as keeping TBD's hopes alive through the team standings regardless. And Toby Byrne actually got up into the points now, so he is going to bring him some points as well for TBD. So pretty solid outing for the TBD boys nonetheless here, with Christoffer in the top 5. Just running through the field once again here, Valerian Campagnari, Evan Imre, and Toby Byrne should be getting the points nonetheless here, as we're taking a look at Christoffer Pettersson now. Kind of been under pressure right here from Gareth Lennon. Can Gareth Lennon make the move actually and sneak into the top 5 position here? Not sure if he's got DRS, I couldn't tell. But as Kevin Jacobs come across the line here, so very good job. He wins the race today, starting on pole. Job well done to here. And Kevin Jacobs, see, here we go, right here. Right here, Toby Byrne coming onto the inside. He's going to sneak into right there, 7th place. And ooh, geez, that was not good for Charles McBee. He lost a lot of positions right there, as this is not done right yet. But Toby Byrne's going to take it right here. But Valerio Campagnari wants one more position at the line, but it was just a bit too slow. Couldn't get the acceleration out of there. He wanted just one more position. He was hungry for that one here. But as we're taking a look toward the end of the field right here, this is Nut Martinson and Chester Jackson. A couple of guys. We haven't talked about Chester Jackson. He's kind of struggled. I think he got involved in that first corner incident as well. He's going to try to get the acceleration, but I believe Nut is just a bit too far ahead. Even with DRS, you're just not enough time there. So great outing today for everyone here. Kevin Jacobs takes the win, with Callum Spencer and Colin McAllister being your top 3. So very good race today, Josh. I hope it was very good for you to enjoy, and it was a pleasure commentating with you on this one.
Yeah, definitely. It was a race of so much, but also so little. I think that the top of the championship will not change much, but we had that dramatic first lap. And yeah, Kevin Jacobs again showing that he's the man to beat at the moment. I think he's done everything right so far, and you can see there he's got another 25 points on the board. And yeah, can Callum Spencer mount the challenge, Jack? That's the real question.
Well, you know, he's his experience, and he likes to make things toward the end here. If he can dominate, you know, toward the early part of the season, he can very much kind of know the season as he comes in with second place behind Kevin Jacobs and Colin McAllister, you know, right there. And look at this, his teammate, Iron Brew Racing, 3rd and 5th, and they're going to continue the lead for the team standings here. They have had a dominant season as a team, as they're one of the few, I think besides TBD, to actually stay in the points. And so this team right here is going to be one to watch for the team standings. If Kevin Jacobs can get the driver standings here, then Iron Brew Racing could be in through the team standings. We'll take a look through the rest of the field. Douglas Anderson coming out, finishing outside of the points here, so tough break for him. Almost had the points here. Ross McFarlane and James Underhill, who lost so much ground toward the end of the race here, comes out still 13th. Danny Diaz and Joshua Wood, followed by Josh Martin, Jonathan Carrero, and Juan Navarro. And then Nut Martinson and then Chester Jackson coming in, rounding out the top 20 here. But I think the biggest story right here, we had Damian Haskins, of course, was second place in the standings here. And, of course, was in to try to maintain here. He won last time out, but he got involved in that first corner collision with everyone else. And he, unfortunately, lost so much ground. And so that might be the biggest shakeup that I can think of in the driver standings here once we get through there. And pretty unfortunate circumstances here, but like we say, just got to bounce. It like he actually finishes last, just behind Craig Claude Evans, who was pretty much the big reason for that. He kind of made a dive bomb that I think should have been a bit patient here, as he pretty much just lost his front wing and everyone else. So taking a look now, Kevin Jacobs 21 points ahead of Colin McAllister, and Zack Swader moves up a position, but Colin McAllister gains 3 positions actually, going into second here. Damian Haskins, we talked about, lost all that ground. He is now 6th. With 25 points, just 31 down from Kevin Jacobs here. So he's going to be one of the biggest losers. And with Callum Spencer gaining a lot of ground gains, 5 positions. So we're just, you know, only 3 rounds into the season, Josh. So a lot of time to be. But should you start worrying about the end of the season? Should you start worrying now? Or do you think you still got a couple of races to try to see where everything goes out?
Yeah, I think we see there, if we look at those top 5, all within, what's that, 30 points. So, you know, that's the difference between a race, essentially, and a DNF. So I think there's still plenty to happen. It'd be wrong to kind of say that Kevin Jacobs isn't in the running for it, but Colin McAllister's had a good run of results. He might not have been top of the standings, but he's done what you need to do to get the points. As we look down the field, we can see Craig McLeod Evans dropped 3 positions this week, but then you look at Cam Pagnari, who's gained 3 positions. So all still to play for. We've got 9 rounds left, and yeah, there's so much to play for. It'd be so naive to play off the season yet.
So as we take a look at the team standings, as we've been talking about, Iron Brew Racing still dominates. They get a 3rd and 5th today, so a lot of points haul coming for that team. But NRRL is just only 10 points behind there, as, of course, Kevin Jacobs takes the win. He's got the team on his back. He just needs to get Cam Pagnari into the mix now, and they could, I think, put a fight to Iron Brew Racing, as Force Suzuki is behind them. And WSR and TBD actually gained a couple positions in the standings, as well as the JSR group. So big gainers right there as we take a look at VRC and NLR losing a couple places. And ART are still, with 3 runs in, still the only team left to score points. So hopefully they can be able to get it here with just, you know, as you said, a few rounds left to this. But we're still early on into the season, so there's a lot of time that we can be able to see if they can be able to do that here. So final thoughts today, Josh. What do you think of all that, and what do you think can happen for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think it was very interesting to see just how these drivers adapt to such a dynamic circuit. We saw where the teams differed, we saw where the drivers differed, and it was full of action. So it was an absolute pleasure to commentate with yourself and to watch. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the next round. Yeah, definitely. This could become one of the prettiest and greatest seasons of AIC in all of its glory here. So next time out, we will have to see if Kevin Jacobs can actually be able to hold on. And as far as the next race goes, still a lot of time there, but it is so far his season to lose, as he's already broken the win for the different winners here this season. So hopefully to see you guys next time out. But on behalf of everyone here at AIC ISR, this has been Zack Swader, and thank you, Josh Martin, for joining me today, and we will see you next time.